Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today's video is a little different than my normal vlogs. I had not recorded anything all of last week. The week before, my dog was sick. Thank you to everyone who left really nice messages. Lucky's doing a lot better. He's back to his normal self. So thank you to everyone who left a comment wishing him happy and speedy recovery. He's doing a lot better. This week I didn't really record anything and I didn't want to skip a week. So this is the video that I've been trying to make for the longest and I just never got to it. So today's video, I want to share how about my failed attempt at buying an apartment in New York City. And I'm going to give you two different programs which I used. And even though they didn't work for me, hopefully someone out there might need some additional help to buy a house. So you can look into them. So even though they didn't work for me, they might work for you. So let's start with, there's two programs that I learned about and that I used. The first one was a NACA. Oh my God, I don't know why I call it. I always want to say DACA, but it's NACA, N-A-C-A. So NACA stands for Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. And what it is a program that helps you. It's a mortgage, that helps you get your first home. And you don't need to have like good credit for it. I don't remember because I didn't have the best credit when I applied. But in their website, it says NACA provides over 30% of all the housing counseling in the country, and it is the most effective in providing affordable long-term home ownership for both home buyers and homeowners. NACA's transformative mortgage product, counseling services, and character-based underwriting provides a model for how fair mortgage lending can successfully be made a reality for working families and people of color on a large scale. For more information, please visit www.naca.com. But pretty much they help you get a mortgage where you don't have to put a down payment. All you need to have is, I think they said about when I did it, this is 3 years ago, I think $2,000 or $3,000 in the bank. You just have to have that for like closing costs. But through their program, you don't need to put it down. If you're approved, you don't need to put a deposit down. So the only thing about this program, NACA, that I didn't like, although I was approved, and I'll get onto what happened with me and my situation, but with them you have to do a lot. So the first thing you have to do, you sign up for an information session. You go to this information session. It's online. Well, I did it online. And once you attend, you sit through the whole how long it is. I think it was about 2 hours, where they give you an overview of what the program is. They give you a code at the end of the session where you can start applying for their program. So what you do, once you get that code, they're gonna give you a website for you to go and set up a profile with a code with all your information. So you're gonna have to provide everything from the last 6 months, everything you spent, all your bills. You have to provide proof of rent and a history of all your payments for your rent. Every little thing, you have to give them access to your bank account, and not full access, just so they could view what you spend your money on. And then you have to explain what every little charge is. It's a lot of work. And if you're doing it it took me about 2 days to provide everything. You have to provide employment, proof of employment, all your pay stubs from the last 6 months, of all your records, all your payment receipts for your rent from the last 6 months, bank statements for everything, every bank account, savings account that you have, explain all your charges for the last 6 months. It's a lot. It took me 2 days to complete my application. And if you're doing it with somebody else, let's say you're married and you're doing it with your partner, you have to provide all that information for your partner as well. And another thing that you have to do once you're approved, you have to maintain every year. I think it was like, I don't know if it was called points or credits, but you need to have 12, let's say it was, I don't remember exactly what it was called, but I think it was like 12 credits. And what that means is you have to advocate and work with NACA. So like you follow them on Instagram, that's 1 credit. You participate, like you volunteer at one other advocacy event in the city, that's another credit. And it's like little things that add up to credit, like you kind of just help get their name out there and just kind of help with either if they're doing some protesting or something and you go, that's a credit, you know? So I believe this is 2 or 3 years ago before I moved to this apartment, because I did it when I lived in my last apartment. I was like, in the summer, I was like, let me see if I could buy an apartment instead of like renting one. And I learned about NACA through one of my coworkers at the time, because she was about to apply with her partner. So I was like, let me apply for this and see like if I get in. So once you're approved, I was actually approved for a mortgage for, I think it was $250,000. I don't remember. But because I live in New York City, I wanted to buy, I didn't want to go out, live in Jersey. I didn't want to go and live in like Yonkers. I wanted to be in the city and in the boroughs, one of the boroughs, not Staten Island. But I was looking at either a co-op or a condo, a co-op or a condo. And I was not really educated on the process of buying a house. Now I know a little more because of these 2 programs. But at that time, at that specific moment in time, I just thought I needed to do a deposit. And I learned about this program where NACA, where you're not required to give a deposit for the house. You just had to have enough for closing costs. So I was like, let me do this. Another thing with them is that once you're approved, so I did the whole thing, and then you have to meet with your like counselor. They give you a counselor who helps you with the application. They look over the application and see what you need, and they submit the application for you to either get approved or denied. I met with my counselor. I went to the info session, and then I got approved. And then once you are approved, you can only work with a real estate agent that is NACA certified. So you can either they have a group of NACA real estate agents that they assign you to, or if you have your own real estate agent, they have to be certified by NACA. And I didn't have anything. I was like, okay, just assign me to someone. And like looking back now, I realized, I don't know, when I spoke to the guy, I was paired up with this guy, this man who's an older gentleman. I spoke to him over the phone. And looking back at it now, I felt like he was kind of rushing me through, and like I told him I'm looking to get a co-op in the city, like either in the Bronx or like one of the boroughs. And he's like, do you have $20,000 in the bank? I was like, no. It's like, well, you're not gonna get an apartment because most of the co-ops, you need at least $20,000 in the bank for them to even look at you. And he was like, oh, I worked with someone that had the same issue, and like if you don't even have $20,000, you're not gonna get anything. I was like, oh, okay. And then he like hung up on me. So looking back at it now, I felt like he was rushing me. Not rushing me, but like he didn't sound like he actually wanted to help me find this apartment. And I don't know, because I know like when you're buying a house, I know the real estate agent gets like a percentage of that. So I don't know how it works with NACA, if they get a salary or if they don't get a percentage of the sale. I'm not sure how it works, but the guy that I got paired up with did not sound like he wanted to help me. And now, like looking back at it now, I felt, and like playing that call in my head, I was like, oh, I don't think he he didn't think he was serious about it. Because on the other program that I learned about, so now I know, I was like, okay, I don't have $20,000 in the bank, and like, I don't want to live in like the boonies, because my job is in the city. So I wanted to be, I wanted to be able to commute here easily. So I just didn't pursue anything with NACA. After 6 months, if you don't like do anything for the 6 months, if you don't get anything, you have to reapply again. So I just let it expire. I didn't do it. And they reached out to me to be like, oh, did anything happen? Did you find an apartment? And I should have said something about that guy, that real estate agent. But I was like, no, nothing. I didn't find anything. I just said, I spoke to the real estate you guys assigned me to, and he told me, if I didn't have $20,000 in the bank, that I wasn't going to be able to buy a house or buy anything. And that's mainly because I wanted to live in the city. I wanted to live either not in the city per se, like Manhattan, but in one of the boroughs. So I explained that to them, and they're like, oh, but you don't need to buy a car. I don't know what this. I was like, I don't want to buy a house. I want to buy an apartment. So, but now that was because I wasn't really fully educated on the process, on the things that I could buy. I thought that a condo would be more expensive than a co-op in the city. So that's why I was set on getting a co-op apartment, but that didn't work out for me. So I let it expire, and then there was this program called Ladder Up Home Loan Grant through the City National Bank. And that was an email that I received when I was at my old job. They had an info session, and I went to it. And what this is, it's a loan, it's a grant. You apply for it, and they give you $20,000 to go either towards your deposit or closing costs. And I think you have to have your mortgage is through this bank, the City National Bank. And it was funny because they did an info session, and then they sign you up to meet with one of their real estate people or one of their representatives. And I met with this lady. I signed up, and I spoke to her for a full hour. And this is why I think that other real estate agent was trying to just rush me up, and they didn't really want to help me or be like, this might not work for you, the co-op, but other things, he didn't even try to give me a choice. Where this lady, she explained the whole program, and she went over what I make, what I can afford, what I cannot afford, where I could find an apartment, and that's when I was like, if a co-op might be harder to get, but you can also get a condo. And she explained the process of the condos versus the co-op, and I didn't really it was like a whole info session where she gave me a lot of information that I learned. I learned a lot about housing. And through this, I think I have to take some sort of class. I don't remember, but this was a good program if I had money in the bank. But because they give you $20,000, it's a grant that you can use towards your mortgage. Your application. If you're buying an apartment, if you have money, you can apply for this grant, and you could get $20 to help you towards the purchasing costs. So get a grant towards a home loan. Make a move into a home of your own with City National Ladder Up program, the home loan grant. Use funds towards your down payment, save on closing costs, or buy down your rate for a more affordable monthly payment. The best part, grant funds never need to be paid back. So if you're looking to buy an apartment, a house, or anything, you can check out the City National Bank, the Ladder Up program, Ladder Up Home Loan Grant. And this one, you don't need to do much. You just have to apply, and if you get it, you get it. Where NACA, you have to do so much. It's like a program. It's like you get approved with NACA, you get approved for this loan, but then you have to do all these extra things to be able to stay with that program. Every year you have to fulfill this 12 credits and do whatever it is that you should do that they tell you. But a lot of it is social media stuff. because I remember I got 3 credits through following them on Instagram. I think I had to like a few of their posts, and that was a credit. And I forgot the last, what the last one was. But, and I'm not sure if it's 12 credits, but I do remember it was it was about 10 or 12. And that's NACA. Where the Ladder Up program, I met with this lady. She was really informative. She broke down exactly like a co-op versus, oh my God, I always forget not a studio. A co-op versus a condo. She was like, oh, if you can afford like in the city, you can go to Yonkers too. I'm like, I don't want to go to Yonkers. I need a car to be in Yonkers. I'm like, I'm not going there. But for me, I think the Ladder Up program would have been better because you didn't really have to do a lot. With NACA, you have to do a lot of work. The application itself took me a couple of days to complete. And I told my cousin about it, and she's married, so she couldn't, and she's married with a kid, so she didn't have time to like sit there and do everything because they wanted her information and her husband's information. So yeah, buying an apartment in New York City didn't work out for me because for some co-op buildings, you do need to get approved by the co-op, and then apparently, I don't know if this is every co-op building. There are other programs that my friend told me about that I need to. It's a program in the city that they help you buy a co-op. They help you buy an apartment through a co-op organization. I forgot what it was, but I looked at it and they didn't have anything at the moment. And then the other day I was actually looking and I saw an apartment, a studio by Hell's Kitchen in Manhattan, and it was through that organization, but I forgot the name of it. But in general, if you're looking to buy a home, an apartment, I highly suggest that you look into these 2 programs that can help you get a mortgage. The first one is NACA. NACA is more involved and you need to do a lot of things. Well, you can go in and you can do it in English or Spanish, and they have information sessions. Sign up for an information session and see if that works for you. Or you can go to the City National Bank at the Ladder Up Home Mortgage Loan Grant, which is a $20,000 grant. Oh, you know what? Actually, this one is for certain cities. Not every city is part of the Ladder Up Home Grant, because I think for Jersey, if you're looking to buy in Jersey City, that's what they're like, you can apply. I think it's for like inner cities, I don't remember, but in New York, if I was looking to buy, I think it was in the Bronx, that I could apply for it. So there's limitations to the City National Bank program. You can look into it and see if your city qualifies. So this program only qualifies if you're buying a house or an apartment in certain cities. In New York, I think it was the Bronx or Brooklyn. In Jersey, it was just Jersey City. In California, I think it was certain cities in California. So the Ladder Up program is not for every state, where NACA, I believe, it's nationwide. But I will leave the links for both of them in the description of this video and in the comments, in case anyone is curious and want to look into them. So I think I was going to title this my failed attempt at buying an apartment in New York City. And that was because I wasn't really fully educated on the process of buying any property. Now I am a little more equipped to buy a home. Oh, and I think you have to take some sort of class for the City National Bank, like a homeowners class. I don't remember, through DHS, HPD, I don't know. But I think that's why it didn't work out for me. I wasn't fully educated on the process of buying a house. The NACA program, I think, because you can only work with their real estate agents, it wasn't going to work for me. I mean, they paired me up with this guy who didn't really sound like he wanted to help me buy a house. So, and then the National Bank, it didn't work out for me. Because the apartments that I wanted to look into, I think I did want to look at apartments in, I know what it was. At the time, I was not making a lot of money. This was at my old job where I wasn't really making a lot of money. Now I feel like if I were to buy an apartment, I could probably afford a mortgage because I'm making a little more money. But overall, buying an apartment in New York didn't really, it's kind of hard, I think. And I don't know if this is for every co-op building that you have to have $20,000 in the bank. That's what this guy told me, this real estate agent, when I told him that I wanted to buy a co-op apartment. But he didn't even, he's a real estate agent. He could have been like, but you can afford, well, maybe you can look into a condo. But he didn't say that to me. He just said, you're not going to buy an apartment because you don't have $20,000 in the bank. It's not going to work out for you. Okay, bye, good luck. And then he hung up on me. I was like, this mother effer. Where this lady from the City National Bank, she said, you might not be able to buy a co-op, but you can also look into a condo. And she explained what a condo was. So now I'm a little more educated on the process. I just have to start saving up just so I could have at least the closing costs, because I don't have that Anyways. That was my spiel on my failed attempt at buying an apartment in New York City. It didn't work out for me. But these two programs might work out for you if you're looking to buy a home. Yeah, and that is the video today. I hope this was helpful to anyone looking to buy a home, an apartment, a studio, a condo, a co-op, whatever it might be. I hope you enjoyed this video or you got some useful information from it. And if you're planning to buy a house, an apartment or whatever, good luck to you. I hope you get approved for a condo and I hope you live happily ever after on your perfect home. Anyways, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna start recording. I've been recording now this week for my vlog next week. So I should have a regular, normal vlog coming up. Until then, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.